Welcome to 99 Adventures, the podcast where the campsite stories are all about the RV lifestyle. We're your hosts, Alan and Kim, fellow lovers of all things RV living. Here on 99 Adventures, we explore the highs and pickups of life on wheels, whether it's discovering hidden gems off the beaten path or tackling the realities of RV living. But we're not just about the travel, we're about the taste, too. In every episode, we'll cook up something special right from the RV kitchen or campsite. So get hooked up, grab your skillet, and let's hit the road. It's time for 99 Adventures, where the journey and the flavors never stop. Before we dive into today's adventure, what's cooking?
It is super, super cold here. I think we dove down last night into the 25-degree range. So we were going back and forth whether or not we were going to do a chili or a stew. This is going to be more kind of a stew slash soup. This is a recipe that my dad did as I was growing up, and it's super simple. One of the reasons why Kim and I have decided to do a cooking segment as part of our show is because, you know, just some of the research that Kim has done over the past 6 months to a year has come to realize that a lot of people think that you can't do gourmet type meals or even mediocre hard meals in an RV. And that's one of the things that we want to throw out there, is that it is possible in an RV. Now, with the disclaimer, we are not gourmet chefs. My wife's not even close to being a chef.
Not even a sous chef.
Yeah. So I do a lot of the cooking in the house. It's by choice. I like to cook. I think that I cook decent meals. Everybody seems to enjoy them. So that's just kind of the niche that works for us. It's worked for us all the way 25 years, going on 26 years, raising 2 kids, and it just works. And so we're going to do a vegetable soup, if you will, for the cold weather. And we'll kind of go from there.
What's in it?
Pretty basic ingredients. We're going to do hamburger meat. Of course, you can do any kind of meat. It can be deer meat, any kind of wild game. You could do turkey. We're doing hamburger meat. If I had some deer meat, I'd do that. Some other ingredients are just some canned mixed vegetables. Again, pretty basic. Some corn, some tomato sauce, some Petite diced tomatoes. Got some leftover tomatoes that need to be used, so I'll throw some fresh tomatoes in there. Some bell pepper, some seasoning, smoked paprika, black pepper, slap your mama, Cajun seasoning. We like Cajun stuff around here. You'll see later on in the episode as to why. Salt, and then because it's so cold, we're trying to preserve on propane. So normally I would just cook this on the gas stove, but being that we're trying to preserve propane, we're down to our last bottle. We have a 30-pound bottle. I think we're at about 80%. We're going to do the crock pot version. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today.
And then we'll include all the ingredients and what we did in the show notes or the description down below.
This is Oso. Oso is a long-haired miniature Dachshund. He is him and Jack. Jack is still in bed.
It's our short-haired.
He's our short-haired Dachshund, and they are in our logo in the bottom right-hand portion of our logo, and we love them to death.
They're babies,
and they're spoiled.
Rotten.
We're empty nesters, which is why we're doing what we're doing in full-time in the RV. But these guys, they just won't go away. So they're here. You'll see them.
Or hear them.
You'll see them throughout all the stuff that we do. Say hi, Oso. Say hi.
All right. Awesome. So that's a great segue into who we are, how we got here. I know we said in the opening, but my name's Kim. This is Alan. Mm-hmm. And we are full-time RVers. As of the recording of this episode, we've been full-timing for almost 6 months. And we started this journey about 2 years ago, I would say.
Yeah, give or take.
Talking about it. For the past 26 years, we lived in Corpus Christi, Texas, so way South Texas. Neither one of us are originally from Corpus, but the military brought us there, and I would say jobs kind of kept us there. We have 2 kiddos. Our daughter, Ashlyn, is quote unquote out of college and adulting. She currently lives in California and works for CAL FIRE at this moment, and actually helping out with the wildfires that broke out in the Los Angeles area. So, and then our son Connor is currently in college at the University of Texas, San Antonio. We decided a couple of years ago that when the kiddos kind of flew the nest and left the house, that we were going to also leave the Corpus Christi area. Alan has military background. He did 9 years in the Navy and then worked for almost 21 years, over 20 years with the Corpus Christi Army Depot on the Naval Air Station Corpus Christi, the base.
Army aviation.
And so he has the time to step away from that and, semi-retire from doing that. And so that's when we decided that we knew we wanted to leave. We could do that. We had that opportunity to do something different and kind of go on to our next chapter. I currently work from home mostly. It's a hybrid situation. I work for a firm, an architectural firm, and we work with school districts. And so that's kind of what I do. But I do go out and meet with school districts and stuff like that. So it's kind of hybrid. A couple of years ago, started just talking about, we knew we wanted to.
I'm going to get started cooking.
Oh, yeah. What are you cooking first, actually?
I've already said that.
No, but I mean, what are you doing right now?
Oh, I'm cooking hamburger meat.
Okay, gotta cook the hamburger meat. So we knew we wanted to be more in Central Texas. Alan's parents live in the College Station area. We actually just lost his dad a few months ago. So since we've been full time, but his mom is still there. And my mom is in Georgetown and my sister's family. So we knew we kind of wanted to be more in the Central Texas area. And so but we didn't know exactly where, I would say. That was a good thing. We have RV'd on and off, and we've had RVs on and off since the kids were little. I would say since.
This is our fourth rig. Started really, really small, older RV.
Had a
Jayco, I think 20-footer, something like that, with the bunks, and then kind of moved her way up.
Yeah, and down, and back down.
And back down.
Because we had I don't even know if I don't even know what the name of that other one was, like a blade trail, something or other, I don't know. And then for whatever reason, we decided to get a little bit of Grand Design, Imagine, 17 MKE, which has like the Murphy bed or whatever. And we have had us and the kids and the 2 dogs in there, but I mean, it's small. It was really small. But it was great for just like us and weekend stuff or whatever. But yeah, we've been RVing since the kids were little, like Connor's 20 almost. And I mean, he was probably 5 or 6. So I mean, close to 15 years we've been RVing on and off. We've had a rig on and off for the last 15 years. So we knew we didn't want a house. We kind of wanted to just be a little bit free to kind of do what we wanted, not be tied down to one area, and decided, hey, let's do it. Let's go full time. Let's go full time living in an RV. Anything else you want to add to that?
I think the main point is that, that we didn't just jump into it. And I think that just like everything in life, that it's a process, and you have to, you have to understand the process, understand what the goal is, and then work your way towards it. Now, I'm not saying that, some people couldn't just jump right into it and throw caution to the wind. It can be done, but it will be difficult.
And that's not how we roll either.
No, we got, we're pretty methodical about the things that we're going to do, and the things that are in the future. We're always planning for the future, kind of type, and that's the way we raised our kids. I think, going back to, our kids, one very important detail that Kim left out is that, because we're specifically talking about futures, right? And that my son Connor is at UTSA, but he's not just at UTSA. He's at UTSA in the Air Force ROTC program. So future-wise, he will commission as an Air Force officer in a couple of years. So talk about a future, right? So just want to kind of throw that out there.
Yeah, they're great. We have great kids, and they've worked really hard and throughout their school time, their K through 12 school time, and we're involved in a lot of things, and just really great kids. So we decided a couple of years ago and started talking about how this was going to happen. We knew Alan could
take a deferred retirement is what it's called.
Thank you. Deferred retirement in by May of 2024.
Yeah.
Right. So we started about a year out from there, kind of went back from there. And we knew that, so the first thing we knew was we had to sell our home. So we had a almost 2,500 square foot home on an acre and a half, and, shop, and been married for over 25 years, and, kids stuff and all that. So we knew we had to start the process of purging and getting rid of things. And so if we wanted the house to go on the market, we decided we wanted the house to go on the market in February of 2024 to sell at some point within the spring of 2024.
May timeframe, what the goal was, I think.
That's what the goal was. And then be able to be full-time by the summer of 2024. We would wanted the house on the market by February. We backed up from there and knew there was a lot that we needed to get rid of. So we started in November of 2023. We had a really big garage sale at that point, and that one was to get rid of all the things that were hiding in the closets and in the shop and everything, and that would be ahead of still when we put the house on the market. So when it was ready to go, it would be ready for show and all that kind of stuff.
And I will tell you, I gotta interject here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not so sure I can say the same thing about Kim, but I'm pretty good about getting rid of stuff, right? And regularly.
Yeah.
And if I hadn't used something in a year, right?
Yeah.
Whether it be in my shop or in a closet or whatever, I'm generally going to get rid of it. Because, I'm just not going to use it. Of course, there's that off time when I'm going to throw something away and then I need it the next day. Stuff happens, right?
Yeah.
But I think my point is that, knowing that, throwing stuff away, giving stuff away, selling stuff, you would still be surprised as to how much stuff you accumulate over any length of time. And so we had some pretty good sized garage sales because of that. And so I just want to throw that out there.
Well, yeah. And I was going to say that after that first one, we kept commenting it didn't even look like we had gotten rid of anything. And we had gotten rid of so much stuff. And I think it's just because it was all the things, like I said, that were in the closets, in the cabinets, in what I call the nooks and crannies, And, it just takes so much time and to kind of purge. And like Alan said, I think like the very, very first thing we did when we started this was we hit the attic. And the attic was not terrible, right? Most people's attics, I mean, I'm sure people can say, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff up there. And ours wasn't horrible. We just have like a lot of holiday stuff up there. But like literally that was the very first thing we cleaned out was that attic. And then we kind of set stuff aside. We knew we wanted for a garage sale and tackled that. And then the next thing was the shop, the closet, all those kind of stuff. Okay, what are you doing?
Getting the crock pot ready.
You cooked the meat.
Cook the meat. I got the onions chopped. I'm gonna get the crock pot ready to kind of put all the ingredients in. I got some more chopping of tomatoes and bell pepper and then the seasoning and stuff that we're gonna do. Gonna use the crock pot, like I said. Hopefully, one of the things that we have quickly learned about living in an RV is that it's not wired the same way as a house.
Oh, yes.
And so
we might trip in just a minute.
It's only got so much capacity as to how many things you can run. And right now we are dealing with just trials and tribulations of being in an RV, because if you haven't been told, somebody will tell you, or you're going to figure it out, that RVs break all the time.
Even when they're brand new.
I mean, this is a 2024 Forest River 38 RK, and it is January, almost middle of January. It's 20-something degrees outside. I think we're going to be down into the teens over the next couple of days, expecting snow, and we don't have a furnace.
Nope.
At 2024.
Nope.
So
we're going to address all of that in future episodes.
Yeah, we'll talk about more. We'll talk more about that, but it kind of goes to the point to where, so we're having to improvise we went and purchased a little stand-up heater, which is awesome, by the way, and it's gotten us through. Been very comfortable, as a matter of fact. We were able to maintain 70s in the RV. The point is that RVs break. They're not the same as a house, and you will find out, running that heater, if I go plug in the coffee maker, then something trips, right? Mm-hmm. So it's only got so much capacity.
Yeah.
And then more importantly, it can become a safety issue, right? Especially if you start trying to finagle or bypass or upgrade, electrical systems in these rigs. I just wouldn't advise it. So the point is that this is not a house. It's your house, but it's not a house. Right.
So we'll see when we plug in that crock pot. We might have to, we might trip. We might have to go turn off the heater that's in the back. So, but yeah. And it's so hard having the heater in the mornings because I can't have that heater on and have the coffee pot on. So frustrating. That's my only downfall to it. But anyway, we will talk about our trials and tribulations with, as Alan called it, with repairs on our brand new RV and living in it full time, as well as just other ways to get around, making sure you have heat and have some things you can do.
And I mean, it sounds so easy to say, well, just go get it repaired. It's under warranty, right? Which would be true. But when you live in it, it's not as easy to just pack everything up and go to the RV place and get things fixed. Number one, RV repair shops, they don't work that way, right? And and then on top of it, where are you going to sleep that night?
Right.
You're going to get an Airbnb. You're going to stay in a motel, and then for how long? Does the repair place take a day, 2 days, a week, 2 weeks,
3 weeks,
3 weeks? Right? See the dollar signs?
Yeah.
Cha-ching.
So,
So literally, all I'm going to do here, let me just kind of, so I've got my hamburger meat. I chopped up some onion. I'm going to throw that in there, chop up some tomatoes and bell pepper.
okay.
But literally, I mean, y'all see,
You're
it's,
watching on the YouTube.
it's nothing extravagant. Now you can use fresh stuff.
Right.
What I do with, canned stuff is I drain them because, the juice that comes in these things has got tons of preservatives and whatnot. And I don't like the taste of preservatives. So I get rid of it. Of course, to each their own.
Yeah. But, like if you want to go to a farmer's market, maybe you're at a, RVing place.
And do everything fresh,
Which we might try one time. We need to do that.
Fresh is always better. I mean, that's just, there's no way to get around that. So
yeah. So anyway, so back to the house. Yep. So we had a couple of garage sales, got purged, got rid of stuff, gave stuff away, sold things, that kind of stuff. And then put the house on the market in February of 2024. So I will tell you also, during all of this time, we were looking for what our rig was going to be. And I will say that even by the time we put the house on the market, sometime around there, like we had our eye on a rig that was a used rig. I'll just say it was a Grand Design Solitude. And we even had it inspected. We even went out and had it inspected.
Paid $2,500 to have it
inspected by a master.
By a master tech.
Yeah.
That went out.
Yep. And actually in the end decided not to go with that. We decided to do something a little, to go with a different rig. So we put the house on the market in February, and, at this point, interest rates were still high. Things just weren't moving like they
House-wise.
Yes.
House-wise.
Sorry. Thank you.
Selling a house.
Right. Houses were not selling like they had been prior to this. And, Corpus Christi is not a hot market, but it's not
cold either.
Right. So, it's just kind of medium. And, we had built this house, so we had a lot of equity in it, and we knew what we wanted for it and where it really was worth it. And so we priced it okay, I think, but it just, lots of interest in it, but things weren't moving, offers and things like that. So then, I will say, just kind of do a big overview on this part. We did end up getting, in the end, I think we went with we had two failed offers. And honestly, guys, the first one was a scam. We weren't being scammed, but still scary, right? The person who put a contract on the house was being scammed. And
we won't go into the details.
No, we won't. But it's very sad. And this person lost a lot of money over it. And and the funny part is that when we all found out about our scam, there were other scams going on. It's just crazy, right? That, that this is an issue. But, and then we got another contract, but those individuals were moving from another place in
California.
No, San Antonio.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
And they couldn't get their house sold. So even the houses, things were just very, very, had cooled off a lot during that time. And so finally we did our third offer came in, and they were coming from California. And so that was it. So we sold the house. We closed in July, the end of July. And I will say too, at this time, Alan was already, By the way, we are in the San Antonio area. That's where we decided to land. Some of that was because Alan took a job with the government in again, kind of a hybrid position, but has now stepped away completely from that. And but he had to be within the San Antonio city limits, as well as my job, my office that I work for is based out of San Antonio. So we kind of had to be in the San Antonio area for both those reasons. But we ended up finding a rig and closing within weeks of each other, right?
Yeah, and a lot of people will do stuff differently, right?
Tell me about the truck.
We've talked about being methodical and whatnot. A lot of people will go out and purchase an RV, while they're selling the house or before they sold the house. We chose not to do that.
But we already had our RV, our little bit.
We had our little RV, but we chose not to buy our permanent rig, just because we're just kind of safe people.
Yeah.
We don't really put ourselves out there. And what if the house didn't sell? What if this happened, or what if that happened? And that's kind of just the way we roll. And not saying that you can't go out and purchase a rig while you're selling your house or before you sold your house, to each your own. That's just what we chose to do. We wanted to, have that security blanket there. And then on top of it, we wanted to pay cash for the thing.
Yes.
Right. And we did. And so they're not cheap. It's just nice, not having that payment.
Yes.
Again, not saying that, to do it one way or the other, or that if you chose to have that payment, for the duration, that's perfectly fine. I mean, different strokes for different folks. That's just not what we wanted to do. Right. Mm-hmm. And so, anyway, just wanted to kind of throw that out there.
Yeah. And we knew we were going to do a fifth wheel. So we found a truck, got a great deal. We found a dually. We have a F-150. F-350. Excuse me. F-350 dually. Got a great deal on it. It's not brand new, used. I mean, heck of a deal. And then ended up finding a rig. And
yeah, we bought the truck first.
Yep.
But we knew we were going to buy
a big one,
a big dually,
a big fifth wheel. So we needed.
Kind of like the way that most people end up buying stuff is when they don't plan on going to buy stuff, and that's kind of what happened on the F-350. We went out one weekend and decided to go drive the dualies. I'd never driven one. So I wanted to kind of get the feel and kind of just what they were going for. Again, this is at a time when the interest rates were
just like
astronomical, right?
Spring of 2024.
And drove a couple of F-450s. I drove another F-350. These were all Fords.
And a Dodge.
Didn't drive the Dodge.
Oh, no. Okay.
Saw it, but didn't drive it. And then we were actually getting ready to leave, and they came up and said that, we have another one that just came in. It's still in the back. They hadn't even got to the servicing portion of it. The guy had just traded it in, asked if we wanted to see it. Like, yeah, we don't have anything to lose, right? And so they pulled it around, and I was like, it looks pretty nice. What are you wanting for it? Or no, I think I said, how many miles does it have on it? This is a 2015, and it had 38,000 miles on it. I was like, what? It's like 138,000? No, 38,000.
Yes.
And I said, so what are you wanting for it? They said 48,000.
Yes.
This is so we went and drove it, brought it back, looked at it. I'm calling my buddies, I think I've got a sweet deal. And this is at a dealership, mind you, right?
A nationwide dealership,
those,
like a big dealership.
those deals just don't come along. This is almost like kind of a garage sale, garage find. This is a King Ranch package.
Yeah.
2015 with 38,000 miles on it.
It was kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, no brainer.
Really
and I was like, you need to wrap this thing up, right?
Yeah.
And we financed it, and financing it with the caveat of paying it off once we sold the house. So we did do that.
Yes.
Prior to selling the house, but I already had a truck and I already had a payment. So really, all I was doing was adding a little bit more to the payment because I didn't owe that much on my F-150. And so that to us was justifiable. But we have since paid it off, and we did that with the proceeds from the sale of the house. So paid off rig, 2024, 2015 truck, and it's paid off. So those two things are really nice to have. So
for sure. And that was kind of part of just our plan is when we kind of decided to do this, we wanted as little debt as possible. We still have our expenses. You still have to pay for a spot, where your RV's at. We haven't boondocked, so we're not pros at that. And I know there are people that boondock a lot and can save, a lot of money on that piece, but we don't. And so we have our RV spot. We have, we still have another vehicle and, insurance, your RV, the internet. We do Starlink here for our internet just because we need to have connectability. So we wanted as small amount as, bills as possible. So I think that pretty much wraps up kind of how we got here and why we're doing it and all that kind of stuff. So we'll address, something. We'll talk
and
something RV living.
And cook something different.
Yes,
right?
cook something different.
So we're going to do stuff on the inside. We're going to do stuff outside on the grill or on the Blackstone or campfire or frying some fish.
Yeah. So if you have some ideas about what you want to see cooked,
or have questions about, well, I don't really think I can do that,
just leave a comment in the comment section and we'll maybe address it on the show or, answer your comments or whatever.
So what I did here then is I literally, I don't know if you can see that, but I've got everything combined. It's just your mixed vegetables, some tomato sauce, Petite diced tomatoes, bell pepper, onion. We use ground meat. I know your seasonings that go along with that. It's smoked paprika, black pepper. It's a seasonal, slap your mama, garlic and pepper, and then just salt, right? And we like to let that cook for 6 to 8 hours. Eat that with some cornbread, some beer, wine, whatever you choose, whatever beverage you choose. But like I said, we're going to go back and forth. We decided to do this one today as our intro.
So cold outside.
Because it's so freaking cold outside. And we're going to go back and forth. We decided to do this one today as our intro.
So cold outside.
Because it's so freaking cold outside. And it's a good comfort food. And it's easy. And it tastes really good. And if you're like us, we love leftovers. We always have. Yeah. And leftovers gives the opportunity or no opportunity to go out and spend extra money that it's just not necessary. I mean, it's not like when I was growing up where you could go eat lunch for $5, out the door with a drink. Now it's $15 to $20. And,
but also too, like in the RV, if you're traveling, if you've got travel days coming up or whatever, you can make this in a crock pot, store it in some containers in the refrigerator. You can just pull them out, heat them up, either whether on the stovetop or in the microwave, or store them in containers, put them in the freezer where you can pull them out later. Something like a soup, a stew, that kind of thing. It's super easy.
Yeah. But like I said, normally we would just cook this on the cooktop, but we're trying to preserve on our propane. And I think probably the point to that is that RVing is thinking a little bit differently than what you normally think, right? It's from leaving to, to go, 4 hours away. Oh, did I turn the water off? Right. You don't do that at your house, but you should, when you leave an RV, really every single time that you leave an RV, you should. But what we do is we're leaving for any length of time, we'll do that.
Yeah.
But the point is that you're going to do things in an RV that you're not accustomed to, you're not used to. And so you have to think a little bit differently. So really, that's just the point.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I think that's pretty much it. Other than, I guess, I did talk about, we're in the San Antonio area. We're actually at Lake Medina RV Resort, which is west of San Antonio. If you're interested in it, I'll leave a link to the RV park. It's beautiful out here. So much wildlife, deer. I mean, of course, this is a working ranch, so there's cattle. Our spot actually overlooks a river that is dry, but it's still beautiful.
The lake the lake is only at 3% right now. Yeah. So this lake was designed and built for irrigation downstream, and they use it for that. And so when it goes dry, it's dry.
And downstream.
It's dry until until Medina River fills it back up. So right now it's an off time. The lake is just almost completely dry, except for 3% of it, but it doesn't take away the beauty of the park and the wildlife. I've seen deer, I've seen axis, I've seen turkey up to 25 to 30 at a time in packs, raccoons, foxes, I mean, you name it. I mean, this is
birds, lots of birds.
Beautiful oak canopied
so beautiful
park.
And a good vibe here too. The folks here, especially during the winter, because there are a lot of winter Texans here from all over the country, and they have activities. I think they did a New Year's Eve thing. We're gonna have a Super Bowl party, just ladies lunch during the week, just all kinds of stuff. Game night, that kind of stuff up at the clubhouse. And so, and I think they do all that during the summertime too. So they like to keep the guests busy and have things to do. So there's pickleball court, there's play area for the kids, dog park, and fire pits. And these sites here, like most of them, wouldn't you say, Alan, are like a good size?
Like you have your own yard.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So we're going to get this cooking on the crock pot. And then when it's done in like 4 hours, we're going to come back and do a little taste test, do a toast, and sign off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We'll be back.
Come on.
All right.
We're all back. Oso wanted to join us. Of course, he sees food, the food that's been cooking all day long.
Yes.
And smelling it all day long.
Yes. And it's delicious.
Yeah. So, literally 4 to 5 hour cook time in a crock pot. Like I said earlier, usually we would just do that on the stove. And it can be done on any kind of RV stove. Doesn't have to be a gas burner. But anyway, it's pretty decent. Good for a day like today, where it's, I think right now it's 32, supposed to drop to 25.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, just like that, our inaugural episode comes to a close on 99 Adventures. So let's raise a glass. Join us in a toast to RV life and adventures yet to come.